Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Raiders of Scythia. This is a 1 to 4 player game published by Garfield Games. Raiders of Scythia is going to be similar to Raiders of the North Sea if you ever played that game. You're going to be going through and you're going to be trying to pillage all these different locations and trying to get the most points throughout the game through completing quests or just pillaging areas. So let's go ahead down to the table. I'll give you a general idea how the game plays, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is what a 4-player setup of Raiders of Scythia may look like. Now, to start out the game, each player is going to get their own little player board here. They're going to get their own little blue meeple. They're going to get 1 provision and 3 silver. You're also going to take this leader deck, and you're going to place 1 out for each player, plus 1. So if I have 4 players, I'm going to put 5 of them out. When you place these out, you're going to pair them up with a normal crew member. Players in reverse turn order, so the first player will pick last, are going to pick the pairs they want and then put them on to their player board itself. Once that's done, all the rest of the leader cards are going to go back in the box. The unpicked crew member cards are just going to go in the discard pile. So let's say there's 1 unpicked crew member, it'll go in the discard pile. Then the pile of crew members will go up with the board. This is going to be the animals. So this game is very similar mechanically to Raiders of the North Sea. And what you're going to be doing in the game is you're going to be placing down a meeple, doing the action, and then getting another meeple. And if it's in the town doing work, you're going to do that action too. So let's go ahead over what it is to be in the town and what you're going to be doing there. So in the town here, you're going to take 1 of your meeples and you're going to place it down and do that action, and then pull another one and do that action. So if I place a meeple here, it has to be blue or gray, and I get 2 provisions. If I place a red meeple down, I get 3 provisions, or I can get 1 of the brown resources if there are some available. And they'll become available by different means throughout the games, but basically what ends up happening is I randomly place out these resources in the different location based on the number here, and I place the color of meeple based on the color displayed there. So actually this is 1 too many. Whoops. Any remaining will be available as resources throughout the game. You'll be spending these for different reasons, to create quests, to do different things throughout the game. If I go here, I simply get 3 silver. If I use a gray or red worker, I only get 2 silver. If I go here, I can play a card. At the beginning of the game, you're going to get several cards in your hand. You're going to draw 5 and pick 3. So I'll have 3 cards in my hand. So the plus sign here is crew that go in. So if I am going to go to the barracks and I want to get a crew member in, I'm going to have to pay the 3 silver here. And then if I pay the 3 silver, so notice this one's 3 silver, this one's 4 silver, I will place the crew member in here. One thing to note is throughout the game you're going to be gaining points, but crew and quest tokens are gained at the end of the game. So this is 3 points at the end of the game is still here. Same with the animals, which we'll go over in a second. So I can purchase a crew member and put it in, or I can spend 1 of these resources, if I have it, to heal a crew member and get some wounds off, up to 2. I can explain that in a second when we go to dealing out wounds. To go to the stables here, I have to have a gray or red, and I can pay 2 silvers to get any eagle, or I can pay a stone to get a horse. Now when I get these guys, they have I either get the eagle or I get the horse. Horses and eagles can have different abilities or give points. So like this one here will give me a point and give me 2 strength, which will go over middle. If I pick the horse, I can put it under anything, 1 here. But if I don't put it under one that has a crew member, so let's so I put it over here, and I have to put it with one with a crew member, then I actually get the ability. If I put it without a crew member, then I don't. So that's how that works. Now, if I use the eagle, like this one here, I actually, when I fire off the eagle, I get to ×2 the ability of the person underneath. And where that's going to come into play is if I go and I pull out this town center. If I do the town center, I can play a card out of my hand for this ability right here and lose that card. Or I can play any of the flag abilities, which include those eagles and doing cool things. And the eagle basically fires off one of the abilities that is this for the crew member. The captain here, or your leader here, will do whatever's on the right. So you can go to that spot to be able to fire off that ability or play a card and do that ability. If I go to the meeting tent here, I can draw 2 cards, crew cards, or I can draw a crew card and get 2 of the cumin, or the little pieces over there. This here, market, I can discard a card for 2 silver. I can discard 2 cards for a brown or gray resource. That's basically the town center. You're going to put one down and you're going to pull one up. The next thing you can do is you can do raiding. And there's a lot of spots you can do raiding at. All right, so raiding. So raiding, we're going to go through these different sections of the board. And you're going to pay attention to the color of the meeple that you need for these. When you start out, you're only really going to be able to go here because you're going to have blue meeples. And when you place down your blue meeple, you're going to raid these settlements. So what that's going to do is you're going to look at the upper right-hand corner, or upper left-hand corner, sorry, to see what type of die you're going to roll. So in this case, since I'm in Crimea, I'm going to have 1 red die. However, you're going to also look to see how many gold die you're going to roll. In this case, since both of these places have gold, I'm going to roll 2 dice. If only one of them did, I would roll 1 die. I'm going to roll these die, and when I roll the die, I'm going to take a look. I'm going to add this to my crew strength, which I'll show you how to do it in a second, but I'm also going to take 2 wounds. When I look at my crew, which my crew is currently, let's say it's this, I'm going to add up the strength. So in this case, I'm going to have 4, 3, so 7, plus the 4 right here, so I have 11. Now, I'm going to take a look at the area I'm raiding. So here it has 2 and 6. So if I have 2 strength, I'm going to get a wound, but if I have 6 or above, I'm going to get a point. So I will just, because I did that, I will move my token up 1 point, and then I will pick the resources from one of these slots and take it. When I take the resources here, this is going to flip over. Now, that's a quest. So quests can be completed from the place that I didn't explain on the board over here. So if I go here and I have a white or a gray or red worker, I can trade a stone in for 2 resources and 1 of these cumin or whatever they're called, these guys here. However, I could also complete a quest. And if I complete a quest, I'm going to need to do what it says on here. So this says have 12 strength and discard a card. If I do that, then I can gain this. And I will just place his face down in my area. And this is 6 points at the end of the game. That's how that works. So you're going to be raiding through these different areas. You're going to be continuing to go through this game until there's only 2 regions, so there are 2 locations. So this is 1, 2, 3 locations that are lootable and or have quests that are obtainable. And once that happens, the game will end and everyone will get 1 more turn, including the person that ended the game. You will score up. You'll have your point on your track, and you will also score up all of your quests, all of your remaining crew members, and all of your remaining pets that will give you points, and the person with the most points at the end of the game. There's some tiebreakers to it, but a couple of things I wanted to explain here real quick was wounds. So wounds, when you get them, they're going to reduce the strength of your warrior. So if I have 2 wounds on this one, she's only going to be a 1 strength. If I got my 3rd wound, the character would be lost and discarded. So you can divide these wounds up, but your leader can never get them. And okay, one thing that I didn't explain very well was raiding. So the reason why you need to keep getting these crew members and keep putting them in is because these raiding spots require crew members and resources. So yes, I told you how to raid, but I didn't tell you all the prerequisites for being able to raid. So if I put my person down here, I have to have 2 crew members and I have to spend 2 resources. If I go here, I have to have a gray worker. So let's say I got this guy. I got this guy for taking this one. And I go here, I have to have 2 crew members, not including the leader, and 3 resources. And these will be spent, or supplies technically. And all these areas require more the bigger they get. So this one here is going to require 4 crew members and 3 resources. Down here it requires 5 crew members and a whopping 3 resources and 2 brown, these are cattle, resources. So a lot of supplies you're going to need throughout the game. A lot of resources you're going to need the game to push through down here. So I do apologize for that. I forgot to mention the cost for going to raid. That in a nutshell is Raiders of Scythia. So that should give you a general idea how the game flows and plays. Like I said, if you played Raiders of the North Sea, you're going to be very at home with this game. The mechanics are in the same line and the same idea. Let's go back up to the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts on Raiders of Scythia. So I really love Raiders of Scythia. This game is amazing. The component quality, if we start off with that, amazing. Just like any of the Garfield games or any of this in this line, component quality is great. I love the little wooden components for the supplies. I love the card stocks, great. I love the board, great. Big board, great. All around, awesome component quality for the game. Gameplay, I love Raiders of the North Sea. So this game here is like an extension of Raiders of the North Sea. It takes a lot of the ideas that were brought in from the expansions for Raiders of the North Sea and puts it into the base game of this. I like a lot of the things that it does. Like I like how it does the wounds. Raiders of the North Sea with one of the expansions, I can't remember which one, gave wounds to the characters. This would effectively make you have to cycle out your crew, so you couldn't get that perfect crew and have an advantage over other players. This here, you're going to have to decide where you're going to take the wounds. Wounds are a lot easier in this game too, so you're going to get them a lot more often. You're going to cycle through your crew a lot more often. I think it's slightly easier to get crew in this game too, so it's not a huge deal. And I really like how instead of having those offering tiles go over in like Raiders of the North Sea, you have them flip over with the different raiding spaces that you go to. So I really like, hey, I'm raiding this place, but I'm also opening up a potential scoring opportunity for another player. A lot of really cool things to have to think about in Raiders of Scythia. If you love Raiders of the North Sea, I think this is a no-brainer. You need to get this game and play it. If you've never played Raiders of the North Sea and you like worker placement style games with really cool player interaction in there, the player interaction is basically in denying where people go in the game. But there's also cards that you can do, like steal goods from other players. They're not that common. Well, they are and they aren't. You have to burn the character to be able to do it for the most part. This game does give an option to fire those off in one spot in the board too, but you actually have to go to town to do that. So a lot of really cool things to think about in this game, a lot of really cool strategies that you can employ in this game. And this is, in the whole series of games, this is currently hands down my favorite. So that's my thoughts on Raiders of Scythia. Thank you for watching.